This place is a zoo.
I saw Cochran. His car, anyway.
And your old man stayed here on the 20th.
I was right. We'll go directly to the factory. We'll find out
hold
exactly
on. Slow down. It's getting late. I could use a drink.
Blood and Black Rum Podcast presents the season of Halloween.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum Podcast. I'm Ryan from ClosePlaytation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going?
Doing pretty well. A little sleepy today. I think you are too.
Yeah.
Both of us, might be a subdued episode of the Halloween series this time, but because I went to San Diego, I just got back yesterday, so I'm a little jet lagged. Yeah. You have 3 hours of sleep of your own doing.
And I went to work.
Yeah. So a little bit more subdued today, but I think we're still going to have some fun. We're continuing our season of Halloween, and obviously we are on week 3, so that means we're on Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch is where we derived our Season of Halloween, I guess. We didn't really get creative with the title, as we talked about previously, but it works, definitely works. Halloween 3 is sort of the bastard child out of the Halloween series.
You mean Resurrection isn't?
I mean, I think it's just that so different from the rest of them that you have, I don't know, like a lot of people who just don't appreciate the fact that Halloween 3 is something different from a Michael Myers film. And I think probably more and more it's become more accepted. But at the time it was released, and I think even like a little bit afterwards, it certainly was not well received. I think it has something like a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb or something like that. And I don't know. People did not accept the fact that they were trying to get away from Michael Myers in this film and going in a different direction, even though that's really what the intention was for the Halloween series. I mean, I understand it in a way because, and this is like something that I question because we didn't obviously grow up in that time frame, but how is it marketed for one thing? Because that's, part of the issue. Like, did you market it well in order to sell the fact that it's not going to be a Michael Myers film? It's something different. And then also, did you temper expectations? And I feel like probably expectations were quite high after the 1-2 punch of Halloween 1 and 2. And then you also have John Carpenter not directing or writing this film at all. It's Tommy Lee Wallace, who does both writing and directing, with Carpenter and Deborah Hill only doing the production credits and Carpenter teaming up with Alan Howarth for the score. So you sort of have a changeover as well that, I don't know, probably didn't help with people who didn't want to accept this as a official Halloween film. But what do you think? Just quickly going over, your experience with Halloween 3. How do you feel about the film?
I didn't see it until later. It's probably the last Halloween film that I saw.
Oh, okay.
Before the Rob Zombie ones. They didn't ever play it that often on TV. I've only seen it like 2 times before this. I just remember, because by the time I saw it, right before college, I was like, it's not that bad. It's not, Michael Myers film, but it is what it is.
Yeah. You accepted it for what it is.
I accept Friday the 13th Part 4 for not being the real final chapter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you kind of have to. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I remember, when I saw it, thinking it was, pretty decent for what, like I said, for what it is.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, especially with, like, how it's kind of paced, how it's shot and kind of looks, and the way the story kind of ends, you can totally tell it's going for the anthology route. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll get into that in a little bit. I'm surprised that you didn't see the film until just before college because, or maybe I'm just thinking now, I feel like they play it quite a bit on TV. Maybe now they do. Maybe they didn't.
I never remember when AMC would do their Halloween block they never had it in there.
They'd skip over it and do Halloween 1, 2, and then 4 and 5. I mean, yeah, they definitely did 4 and 5 quite a bit. I remember those being on all the time. But I do think now that Halloween 3's kind of made it into the rotation a bit more. I think a lot of times now they just play them continuously. Halloween 1, 2, 3, but you know, the whole thing. Because I remember last year just seeing it even on a couple times on TV. And then I always tune in because it's a fun movie, and
I can definitely see it being something like IFC or like El Rey would do. During Halloween, hey, we're not going to do the other ones, but we got Halloween 3 for you.
Hey, that's fine with me. You don't need every station doing a Halloween 1 marathon for Halloween. You know,
it's like you get, if you're like AMC, you get Halloween. If you're Spike, you get Friday the 13th. If you're UPN, you get Freddy, and then so on and so.
Got to break it up a little bit. I mean, I've always really liked. I've never really had a problem with Halloween 3. I've always liked it. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but I think Halloween 3 is probably one of my favorite soundtracks to a Halloween film. Because it is very synth heavy. It's very like computer driven too. Like almost like trying to mimic the sound a computer would make when computing in the 80s.
Nice fax machine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I do like it though. I think that it is and you mentioned this when we were watching the movie. It's kind of a combination of like The Thing and Escape from New York together. Like stuffed together, bits and pieces, bits and bobs, put together from both of those soundtracks.
Because the bass line in a lot of it, like that dun dun, it's very much like The Thing, like when they got like stalking scenes going on, like dun dun.
I think part of that too is Alan Howarth too, who has quite a bit of influence here in the soundtrack, adding a little bit of his own, different instrumentation to it. One thing that I do think too is that this film, the soundtrack, it does sound. We're moving into that territory from Carpenter. Like Prince of Darkness has a fairly similar soundtrack to this. Even once you get into, I guess The Fog does too. Kind of like some of those tenser moments, rather than. I would say that. It's the bass line really that makes it distinguished, makes those types of soundtracks so distinguished from like the original Halloween soundtrack, because they don't have much of a bass line at all. It was really just that piano plinking, and that was it. Whereas as you get to Carpenter's later films, he's moving forward into more bass, more instrumentation, a little bit more like he'll still have that repetitive rhythm, but then he's adding more instrumentation on top of it.
He's taking one idea from a film and then just kind of like slowly building upon it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a good idea. That way you don't have some of those, like we talked about, some of the other films, like Death Wish 2, that has like such a sporadic soundtrack of different ideas throughout that it's hard to focus on one thing in that film, which we talked about in that episode as well. All right, today we're gonna skip over the beer talk, except for the fact that I can mention all of the beer that I had in San Diego, because I did have a lot of beer, and the reason why I don't have it today is because I did so much drinking in San Diego that I'm taking a break from it.
Feels bad about himself.
Not that I feel bad, but I'm just so tired that I feel like if I had any more beer, I probably would pass right out. So I'm avoiding it for the most part right now. But I did try to get around to as many breweries as possible and places that sell beer.
I love that one was closed at 3.
Yeah, I think that was my fault, though. I think I went to the wrong place. Wow. So, yeah. But I did try to get around as much as possible in San Diego and downtown San Diego. So I went to Duckfoot Brewing Company, which is a smaller chain. I'd never heard of it before then. I went to the Naughty Brewery, which is spelled with a K, Knotty. And that's another small brewery down there. and I went to Half Door Brewing, which was kind of cool. It was a nice little brewery and gastropub. So they did do quite a few different meals there and entrees. So that was nice. And then I also got to one of the major ones that I'm sure people know that are listening, Stone. And Stone, the one that I went to was not like actually the main Stone brewing area, but it was a tap house that was behind the Padres baseball stadium.
Petco Park.
Yeah, Petco Park. And they were, they had pretty much all of the stuff that you would expect from a Stone brewery, but it just wasn't like the actual brewery.
Imagine how much one of those has to cost at like
what
at the game.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know like Yankee Stadium now has like Blue Point.
Yep.
And a couple of others. It's like, hey, you want the Blue Point like toasted lager? $20.
Yeah, they're expanding a little bit more. Like when I went to the soccer game at Gillette Stadium, they did have like craft beer there. It's expensive. But it depends on what you get too. Like, are you going to get a 20 ounce or are you going to get a 16 ounce? Save a little money with the 16 ounce.
You might as well go with the 20.
Yeah, go big.
Long game.
I would say, honestly, my favorite brewery that I went to was Stone. The atmosphere and everything. But one thing I'll say about Stone is that if you're not in the mood for an IPA, you just basically don't go there. The only thing they really have are various experimental IPAs that they have. Many of them not, or at least around here, not widely available. And then
we only really got like the variations of their Arrogant Bastard.
Right, exactly. They didn't. I mean, all they really had there for different styles besides an IPA was an Arrogant Bastard, and it was a barrel-aged Arrogant Bastard. And then they had it was some sort of experimental stout that was brewed in conjunction with a couple other people, which was a very heavy. I think it was like 13% or something like that for that stout.
Nice 80.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then that was pretty much it. I think most of the other beers that they had were IPAs. What was cool though is that I did get to try some of their experimental batches. So I tried an experimental batch that had just 2 hops in it, Azaka and I can't remember the other hop, Pecco, I think it was. And so that's kind of cool, at least in terms of like what they're able to do with IPAs and changing up the hops and varying the format a little bit. At least you're not getting like just what they're calling a standard IPA. When I went, so like a lot of people have Stone Delicious IPA down there, which is basically it's a standard drinking IPA. And then I would say probably the other big one is just, what else do they have?
I wonder what they think of the NIPA craze.
I think they had a NIPA.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I believe they had a
surprised,
NIPA. Yeah, I believe they had a NIPA. Or at least maybe they don't call it a NIPA, but they definitely had some hazy IPAs like that. So, I mean, it was a cool experience. I did drink a lot of beer, I'm not going to lie. And I got around to a lot of areas and I think I tried probably like 15 to 20 different beers while I was there.
Post your Untapped.
I did, yeah, my Untapped. I believe mine is Ryan B?
I
think at Ryan B. I think.
I'm only friends with you and one.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find me, I believe I'm at Ryan B on Untapped. So add me on there. You can see my various drinking experiences while I was in San Diego. But other than that, we don't have anything on the
any of those Stone ones you consider crushable?
No. I wouldn't consider any of them crushable, and I don't think they're supposed to be. Just because they're all like fucking 7% and higher. So I think one of their IPAs went up to like 9.5%. I wouldn't consider any of those crushable. Cause they're strong and you're not gonna go in there and pound a bunch of them. And actually
it'd be funny too if you like bought like an IPA there and like you're there like for an hour, like just trying to like make your way through it. Like,
honestly, I was there for a while.
Just like, oh, and like waitress, like, hey, come on, we got other people to come. It's like, sorry, your beer is, very potent.
I was there for a while at Stone drinking one beer. Yeah.
They should have that sign from SNL up, potent potables for their,
It is. They're very potent. And that's one thing you find out about San Diego is, one, that they have, like, primarily IPAs. That's their main beer. And then...
Did you find that Oktoberfest?
No, I did not. I found one. Actually, I found one, and it was Sierra Nevada, so that didn't really entice me because we get that here, so it wasn't like a big deal.
It's not even really an Oktoberfest.
Exactly. And then the other thing that we find out about San Diego is that they really don't do IPAs that are under 7%. It's very difficult to find like under 7 IPA there. They really like them heavy.
Nice and heavy and hoppy and
yeah. Yep.
Well, good luck mowing your lawns, assholes.
I know.
When you need a nice Kolsch cream ale,
we'll
be laughing at you on the East Coast.
They did have a couple of cream ales. But...
Well, that warms my heart.
Yeah, they did have a couple. But yeah, I mean, I would say, being down there and trying to hit as many breweries as possible, having all these like super heavy styles and very high alcohol content beers is like, you only have so many. And then you gotta take a break. And to go soak in the hot tub.
I would say they give you a snack and it's like, here's your bread.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your bin of
basically
garlic knots and bread.
I was having like stomach pains at night because I had so many hops. It's ridiculous.
Just trying to sort them all out. Like, with this one's that one. And...
Yeah. My stomach was trying to figure out what to do with it all, I think. What do you do with all this bread? But, alright. So, anything you want to add for beer drinking?
No, I've had nothing.
We did want to get Miller High Life for this show, but it just didn't work out. Mostly because I vetoed it, because I don't want any beer right now. Instead, I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah, it perked me up.
Yeah. I was almost falling asleep while watching the movie, but now I'm feeling all right. Feeling good.
I had moments.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the movie itself. Because I do think Halloween 3 is actually a lot of fun. It's a fun movie. It's not a great movie. Especially,
comes across as a TV movie.
Exactly. It's not great when you think of the actual quality of the film. I would say like almost everything about it does feel like a TV movie. It feels very cheaply made. They have like very, very poor actors in some scenarios. So honestly, a lot of this feels like it could have just been straight to TV and aired like on Halloween or a week before Halloween. It wouldn't have been out of place to have it like that. It certainly doesn't feel as well put together as like Halloween or Halloween 2. And
you can tell they cut the budget.
Yeah, absolutely. The budget is, I think most of it really comes across with the budget restrictions when you have like some of the special effects work is just kind of chintzy, I would say. And then, but the thing that really you notice too is the cheesy writing that seems sort of television sitcom-ish, or sort of boiled down to like the common denominator of like people who might watch. So kind of dumbed down a little bit.
Needs a laugh track.
A little bit, yeah. A lot of the opening parts of the film, especially when you have like Tom Atkins coming into the film early on and you're meeting his character, Dr. Challis. I don't know, like it does need a laugh track. It's sort of comedic in the way that they're portraying him, and it's very cliched too. So I don't know, you don't really get to know much about him besides a few key facts. And one of those facts is that he loves to drink.
He's drunk.
And that's basically like what you know about the guy.
He's divorced, he has 2 kids, he's a doctor, and he's a drunk.
And also he likes to sleaze around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely like...
it's not sleazing then, though. It's just good fun.
Yeah. He's definitely like using his position as a doctor at this hospital that he works at in order to
the 5 employees that work there as well.
Yeah. He's using that position to sort of like schmooze with a lot of the female-oriented workers that are at the hospital. And that's primarily all of them, because it's a pink-collar job in the hospitals, especially with nursing. Back in the 80s, didn't really have many male nurses.
Till Ben Stiller and Meet the Parents, you know, to buck that trend.
I think, I love the whole opening part when you have the first guy being pursued by, these men in black, running through the gas station, being taken to the hospital, and you see Dr. Challis come in, and he's already been drinking, because it's already mentioned by his ex-wife early on, and he's sort of like, even though there's this man like nearly dying on the gurney with him, he's in good spirits. It's like shaking the gas station attendant's hand. Thank you for bringing him in. Really appreciate it. I don't think you need to stick around. You just could have possibly been...
Has his nice polo on, not really doctor garb. He's just got the coat, the coat to make it like, I'm a doctor.
He's putting his arm around all the nursing staff.
Yeah. Giving them good games on the back.
Yeah. We were talking too, and, you see one moment where he puts his arm around a nurse, and then you see a guy in a suit step out. And I was just joking, like, that looks like it's administration. Be like peering at him from afar, being like, that Dr. Challis, he's really crossing a line here. Sexual harassment charges pending. The way that it's shot.
Call up the legal team.
Exactly. The way that it's shot, it could be like Grey's Anatomy or something. And, the administrative team is really trying to figure out what they're going to do with Dr. Challis. But that whole first part of the movie really feels the most TV movie-esque, just because of how ridiculous it seems a lot of the time.
I do like that they follow the Halloween 2 trend of nobody working at this hospital.
Yes. This hospital is another one of those ones that
it's just barren. Apparently, they live in the middle of
Yeah, but also, they also have no patience. Like, they act like this guy's like the first person to come in.
Well, it's the same thing in the Halloween, too. Yeah. They had no patience except Lori for...
Yeah.
What are you doing? We just got one girl, That's why they're like, you're Lori Strode. Because it's like, we got ourselves a patient. Let's,
At one point, the doctor actually asks, like, who's there? And the nurse says, oh, it's a quiet night. It's a good thing it's a quiet night. Because what would they do if it wasn't? There's 2 nurses on duty. What would they be doing?
And one doctor.
Yeah, what would they be doing if they actually did have an emergency situation going down?
Like, oh no, school bus just flipped over and set a flame. What are we gonna do? I don't fucking know.
We can treat 2 of them.
No, it's great too, because right after the guy dies and the other guy
immolates.
Immolates himself in the car. Fucking, he's talking to his ex-wife, like, why he can't come and pick up the kids. Like, and he doesn't, he's like, 2 people died last night. And
there's no explanation.
I know,
for
like,
that.
why shouldn't his wife be like, you work at a hospital?
Yeah.
People die.
People die all the time.
You mean,
you can't handle that?
Like, oh, your body count of 2, isn't that good?
I'm surprised the first thing she didn't think of was, like, his own doctor negligence after being drunk and going to the hospital.
You got your malpractice insurance, renewed.
Like, I'm so glad we've unlinked our checking account because yours is going up in flames from the malpractice suit you're getting.
That's why he's hitting on the one forensics.
The pathologist lady there. Yeah. Yeah, she's probably got the money.
Yeah, making all that and making sure, like, hey, I kind of fucked up. Make sure kind of like just brush that to the side and
yeah. What do you think about that first immolation scene? That's, in terms of it, the film, it's often cheesy, but I think that is sort of like a shocking moment too, because you don't really, if you're watching for the first time, you're not really expecting some guy to just go out and set himself on fire.
Yeah, but that shocking moment's totally,
the
feelings, you don't get that impact because one, it's like a Death Wish car explosion, and Tom Atkins has no reaction to it. Just, like, not like, oh my god, why would somebody do that? He's just standing there,
just
like,
resigned.
Just like, huh.
I know, he's just kind of resigned to it. It's like, that's the 3rd one that happened.
He's just like, not again.
Like, this city.
I know.
It's going downhill.
Those damn Utes.
I know.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. I was laughing at that when we were watching. I'm like, he's just standing there like, not not again. Not even. He's totally emotionless to it. Just like,
I know. One other thing that I like about the opening scenes of Halloween 3 is Tom Atkins' jacket, which it barely fits him. It does make a comeback at the end of the film as well, but
that's the style.
I guess it was a style, but it looks like a woman's jacket on him.
I mean, it is like a cream colored jacket.
I love it. I mean, I get it. It's sort of like a bomber jacket sort of thing. And bomber jackets do tend to have that sort of like torso-ish.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but this one looks too small for him. Like it's just not fitting. And I don't know if that's a wardrobe choice that went wrong, or they just didn't have, they didn't have the money. And they were like, "Look, Tom, you got you a medium." He's like, "I'm a large, damn it!" And they're like, "You're gonna have to make it work because we don't have."
We lost the receipt.
Yeah, we don't have the money to return it,
and we can't really hem that. We didn't have the money for a tailor either. So
I know.
Just make it work. Imagine him just walking around like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, like fat guy, little. No, he's not fat. He's just got a beer gut.
He does, yeah. It's from all the Miller High Life he drinks.
You know what's great in vodka and scotches? He just had a smorgasbord of
He does.
I like the part when he's at the bar after, just drinking, and they got some fucking like cartoon on.
Oh yeah. I don't know what that is. I really have no idea what that cartoon is.
Thank God, they switched it over to the ball game.
Well, what kind of bar just has like some random kids show cartoon on? There's not like there's going to be a whole bunch of kids in there hanging out, or maybe there is in the 80s.
You know what's great too?
Pack it up, kids!
This is great too, is when they flip the channel, it's like, coming on Halloween. Watch the immortal film.
The immortal classic, they call it.
The immortal classic. Halloween. It's kind of like, you could be watching a better movie.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're watching this instead.
I know.
That's probably why people got pissed off. They're probably like halfway through, like, I could be watching Halloween right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a nod
it's
to
supposed
Carpenter. But it does remind you, like, yeah, that one was better. Yeah.
Couldn't pick, keep the trend with the original, like with, being the Thing from Another World, and then Night of the Living Dead, and pick, like, something,
Yeah, you know what, too?
Like The Day the Earth Stood Still or something,
It almost feels like that was part of a work print that Tommy Lee Wallace showed to Carpenter to get his production credits, to get some extra money from Carpenter. He's like, yeah, John, I want to show you something. Maybe you want to produce this. And he just put in the immortal classic. And John was like, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, I'll produce it for you. Do the soundtrack. It was just a work print thing. All right, so what we haven't talked about yet is the Tom Atkins love interest, Ellie Grimbridge.
What a name!
What a name! I don't even really know that we Grimbridge doesn't really come up that much. I don't think. I don't remember it
with her because she's the daughter of the first victim in this film.
Yep.
I think his name was Howard.
Something like that, maybe. I didn't even catch his name.
But this is like. After watching it now, this movie makes me think like this is like an '80s Bond film, but it's set like a Halloween horror mystery.
Sort of. Yeah.
Tom Atkins in this comes off as like a drunk Roger Moore.
Yep.
Ellie Grimbridge got like a Bondian name, and then like Roger Moore in the '80s doing Bond films, way too old to be doing the part, sleeping with way too young women.
Yes. Yeah, because Stacey Nelkin in this film is only 22 years old.
And Tom Atkins, though he doesn't look like it, he's 48.
Yeah, I think the mustache for him works both to his advantage and disadvantage. I mean, to his advantage because you assume that he's...
I would say that he looks like early 40s, but he doesn't look like he's like damn near 50.
Well, like with the mustache, like a lot of times it makes people look older. So you assume like, okay, well maybe he just looks older, but then you find out, no, actually he is old.
I know, I rock a mustache.
Yeah.
But no, like, and then like the villain's like, it's a Bond like villain with like a Bond like.
It is really a Bond villain,
crappy Bond like villain layer.
Yeah.
Like the lowest rent layer ever with the way the monitors are set up at, Silver Shamrock's factory.
Yeah.
It's like if Troll 2 and a Bond film were like kind of mixed together and you get a better produced, better produced horror film than Troll 2.
True. Better produced than Troll 2. Probably not as good as a Bond film.
They were not doing too well in the 80s.
That would be interesting to watch, like a Bond Halloween film.
It's Skyfall.
I know,
sort of get
Skyfall
Spectre.
Spectre, you get that in the beginning, at least, with the Day of the Dead.
That dragged on forever.
Yeah, but it would be interesting, because you're right, this does feel like, in a lot of ways, a Bond film, and the reason I'm bringing up Ellie in general is because, you're right, she is way too young for Tom Atkins, but at the same time, he's only met her for like a day, because he's interested in her father's death.
Listen, they didn't have the internet back then, so when you're a little bored at the motel, what are you going to do? You're going to,
Yeah.
He's going to bump some uglies.
It's hilarious because they first set out, they're going to this town, the town of Silver Shamrock.
Which does look like Nilbog.
Yep. Because it's like a little Irish town that's got nothing going on because everybody's sort of programmed that way. And you have them both, Dr. Challis and Ellie, they decide that they're going to get a hotel together and call themselves husband and wife. Okay, great. That's a cover. So they get a hotel together. And the funniest lines just come from this when Dr. Challis is like sort of trying to figure out like, what are the sleeping situations? I don't want to come across as too forward here. But he's like, what should we do? Should I get another room? And
she's like, that would blow our cover as a married couple. He's like, well, I could sleep in the car if you want. It'd be better than that damn floor. And then she's like, what would you like to do, doctor?
Yeah, just the way...
And then he goes right for the tits,
Yeah, it's just the way that it transitions is so hilarious. Like, they don't even know each other at all. And
I know, it's been... Because the great thing, too, is anytime there's any time pass, we get the date, like the actual day, like Thursday.
Yeah.
October 29th. 2 days till Halloween. So we get that, time. So it's literally, they've only been together working on the mystery of, the Scooby-Doo mystery of who killed Ellie's father.
You know what? It's I gotta say, it's super common that you work with somebody for a day and you fall in love with them. I don't know. It's just the way that it is. But yeah, like with Ellie though, the film doesn't give you any sort of indication that she's at all interested in Dr. Challis besides like just him helping her figure out what happened to her dad. Because her primary motivation, what she even says is, she's like, I'm not leaving and going back to Los Angeles until I figure out what happened to my dad.
And then while they're there and like weird shit's going on, and he's like, do you want to go? And she's like, I do want to go, but not until I, find out what happened to my...
That's her primary motivation. But instead, 2 days after her dad's been horrifically murdered by having his eyes pushed in and the bridge of his nose snapped, she's like, I'm feeling kind of horny. I don't know. It's hilarious.
The great thing about that whole sex scene, too, is, like, Tom Atkins starts down like he's going to go down on her. It's like, psych!
Yeah, he does.
I'm 50 years old. I don't do that shit no more.
I don't have to do that anymore. Clearly, because she fell for him regardless of it. He does have a nice stash.
Yeah, well.
She probably missed out.
Exactly. He's... The whole purpose of the stash is, to enhance the game.
One of the other things that's really funny about them having sex is that only after they have sex 2 times does he say wait, how old are you? There's a potential she could be under 18.
Well, she did. You know what? Maybe that's a dig at Woody Allen, because she did date Woody Allen. When she was 16 or 17.
Maybe.
When he was 42. So maybe
Possibly.
maybe that. Oh, I'm sure Woody probably didn't even care to ask. He was just
yeah. But it is funny because she returns with "I'm older than I look," and she's really not that much older than she looks. She's 22. And she looks 22. I don't know.
I'd say she looks like she's 18.
Oh, you do? You think so?
She looks pretty young.
I think that's more of a...
And what's also great, too, because we mentioned it, too, when the guy's bringing in, their luggage, and oh, you're a light packer, and yep, and, when, she takes a shower before Tom Atkins comes back, and then, when he gets back, she, drops the blanket that she had wrapped around her, and she's got, she brought her beautiful lingerie with her. She had plans.
Right.
She knew.
I mean, yeah, she only packed a couple things. Even because Tom Atkins even says that he's going to have to wear his
He's like, I can stretch this clothes out maybe for another day.
Yeah, he's got to wear his clothes for another day. But she brought a negligee. Yeah. Good planning. Good packing on their part.
It's great.
So primarily the film itself is driven by this one mask maker named Conal, which I don't know that I've ever heard the name Conal before. Have you? Must be an Irish.
No, but I'm assuming
Must
it's
be Irish.
Please don't.
That's my good Irish accent that I do. Conal Cochran, played by Dan O'Herlihy.
He is next to him and Tom Atkins, the two bright spots. Right?
Two best, yes. And I think Dan O'Herlihy kind of knows, like, what's going on. He knows that it's sort of a ridiculous movie, so he's just hamming it up, really going for it. He's kind of like the Donald Pleasance of this film.
Much more subdued, though.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Especially
definitely.
compared to Looney Loomis in Halloween 2.
That's right, yeah. We don't have a Looney Loomis in this one. But, so the film itself, it's pretty much follows along throughout this time span of before Halloween, working through the days, and they get a whole bunch of commercials for Conal Cochran's mask company, Silver Shamrock, because they've been making 3 different styles of masks for this Halloween season. And apparently selling very well. It's the only thing that people want.
Apparently it's like the only mask maker for Halloween.
Besides like those plastic molded masks, I would say. And
you know what would have been a nice touch? This would have been a nice little Easter egg. Put like a Michael Myers mask in the background.
Just like in the background?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't catch it. Maybe there is one, but I don't know of any. That would have been a nice another touch to the film to add another.
Well, I do just love like the one family that was also in Santa Maria or Saint Marie or wherever the fuck that town is. Nailbog.
Yes.
Too. That one family that's there, like that's sells masks that look like they're extras from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That the wife's like, he's one of the richest men in the world. He sells Halloween novelties.
Yeah, I think she says like masks and cheap knickknacks or something like that. Cheap magic tricks and
because the company is Silver Shamrock Novelties.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me this motherfucker's making millions of dollars selling 3 different types of plaster masks and
it's probably a good thing that his entire family was killed because they'd soon be losing all of their money and his job to Oriental Trading for the magazine company because pretty soon that Oriental Trading is going to come out and wipe out any necessity to have a salesman like that selling novelties and knickknacks.
I know, they're like driving to this town like, I came all the way from San Francisco to get my order.
Yeah. Again, what kind of stupid unproductive shop owner would do that? Like, no, you don't deliver it to me. I'll come and pick it up from you. Like, no, I think that most of your profits are gone at that point. You have to make a road trip every time you need a new box of masks.
But he's such a nice man because when Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin, when they show up and they're touring the factory, they find out that her father's name is in the ledger, in the log of receiving the mask, they lie and say, like, we lost them. And he's like, and your order of masks are being made right now for free. And everyone's like, this man's just the most magical.
I love the guy. I love, what's his name? The guy that plays whatever the salesman's name is. I think it's like Buddy. Yeah, it's Buddy. Played by Ralph Straight, because you could see him in the background, behind Conal. And his face just lights up, like so excited that they're getting this box for free.
God, he looks like a combination of like Randy Quaid and Bob Lee from ESPN.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
that's all I could think of when I was looking at him. I'm like, man, he looks like Bob Lee, Bob Lee in 10 years if he was on very hard times. And
I'm not sure what they were trying to do with that family because it's such a ridiculous exchange.
I told you, they're it's like they stumbled onto the wrong movie set. They're supposed to be in Willy Wonka and show up to the factory. Fortunately, it's been 9 years since the film. They missed that boat, and here they are, because he's wearing suits from 1973. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
And like, the film, for the most part, is going for a very, like, dark and depressing theme. But then you
killing
have
children.
Yeah.
Which give the film credit. How many films would you see?
At least it goes for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this family seems very out of place in that regard because it sets a more comedic tone of, like we said before, a TV movie style of just, and that he does seem like he could be in a TV sitcom. This dad, like a very cheesy TV sitcom, but
too many cooks.
Yeah. And yeah, I do love how everybody seems to love Conal Cochran though. It's
just the most mad. Yeah,
he's the magic. Yeah, he is the Willy Wonka of like mask making. And you got to hand it to him. Obviously, he's doing some good work. They're definitely selling a lot of masks, and it's probably because of his his high budgeted commercial setup, because they have to have a commercial for every single day.
A new commercial.
Yeah.
Change the jingle up. Got to have people, from the factory sitting there, singing the nice Silver Shamrock song.
Not only that, but you have to imagine that they had to have paid the ad space for each of those ads, because that is a clusterfuck of organization for the actual channel to figure out, like, well, I got to run ad number 752 on Thursday, but I got to run ad number 863 on Friday.
Well, the good thing is, though, they could just throw the old one away. Once you use it for the day, throw that beta tape right in the garbage and move on to the next one. But, that is a great thing, too, because at the end, when Tom Atkins is trying to get the commercial pulled, he's like, go to the third channel. There's only 3 channels he's trying to get it pulled off. And I said, imagine if it was today, now go to channel 215.
Yeah.
Take it off. All right. Now go to 224. Take it off.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah, at least there was only 3 channels.
Go to 233-3. Take it off.
Well, he didn't even reach the radio, because we hear the ads playing on the radio as well. Not that I don't know if that would do anything to the kids.
No, I don't think, because I think
probably not, because it has the visual flashing. But
because it wanted you to look into the pumpkin.
But one thing that's pretty funny is how often that commercial is shown throughout like the world of this film, because it seems like people would start to be getting like ready to kill themselves from it. Like,
Tom Atkins is like,
this commercial keeps playing, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head.
After he just got done blowing his load at a underage girl, he's like, oh, that goddamn commercial.
Hear this everywhere.
God, let's put some soft jazz back on.
Yeah, because like even at the beginning of the film, you see the commercial, and at the house, because Tom Atkins' kids are watching the commercial, sitting way too close to the television, bopping around like idiots.
What the hell did she yell at them for?
Yeah, what did she yell at them for?
Something trivial, but then she was fine with them sitting 2 inches from the TV. Like,
I think it might have been loud.
Yeah, like, you're being too... it
was too loud.
The TV's like, turn the TV down, but it's fine that you sit, that close.
Yeah.
You won't get a lazy eye or anything from that.
But, so he sees it when he's at his house, and then afterwards he goes to the hospital and it's on again. It's like on right as he walks past another room, so it's just funny. I realized that they had to like show how persuasive this commercial has been selling all these Halloween masks.
We get to see it in Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, Baton Rouge.
I'm wondering how... Yeah, I'm wondering... Well, think about those people. One of the shops only has to drive from San Francisco still in California. What about somebody in Baton Rouge who's like, I didn't get my order. I gotta go down to Northern California to pick it up.
Or we're gonna have to close the damn store down.
Yeah, right. Either we go down and pick it up, or we have no masks to sell, so we're out of luck. This seems to have spread all across the nation, which kind of strikes me as funny because I don't ever remember people taking, even back in the day, I don't remember people taking Halloween that seriously, where you would be like, it's not Christmas. It's not like Jingle All the Way where you got to get the one action figure. Like
I was thinking about that throughout,
Right, because like the kids now for this mask, they've been like clamoring for the specific mask, and
because Tom Atkins even gives them like when he first meets his kids in the beginning, like just crappy little plastic mask. Like, Mom already got a Silver Shamrock mask.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you know the brand deals shit back. It's just a mask.
You would think that the Silver Shamrock Company, if they really wanted to just have all these masks on kids for this one last Halloween. They just give them away. Right? Like, just being at parades and stuff, just throwing them out to kids, because that would spread them even more. What about those people who can't afford them?
I mean, he is such a generous man. Just
give them out. So, that's... I wondered why they didn't just resort to, like, giving them out to everybody.
Well, at the end, if, it didn't work, you still gotta make a profit. So if it doesn't work, wait, another 3,000 years for the planet still alive,
Yeah, that's another interesting topic that we'll bring up for talking about Halloween 3 is that
witchcraft.
So Halloween 3 has a very weird plot, one that's kind of all over the place. You've got
technology and the old ones.
Yeah, technology, old ones, witchcraft, cyborgs for whatever reason
that bleed yellow.
Yeah, that have yellow goo coming out of them. It's a very weird idea.
You can troll too.
What?
It's because of the green goo.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's troll too. Yeah. But it's so weird that it's I guess in some ways they were trying to expand on that Samhain mythology from Halloween 2. Taking that explanation in the film that Dr. Loomis gets and gives about Samhain.
How many people are on the up and up
in the Celtic tradition?
Under Celtic and Gaelic,
I think more so now, but you're right. Back in 1982, maybe not as much accustomed to the traditional Celtic values and stuff of Halloween.
I don't.
I know.
The only one I can think of, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Finn Balor from WWE. His name, one of his name, I think the Balor part's taken from an old Gaelic, god or creature or some shit like that, because he's Irish. But it's I've never, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's never something I've kind of sat down let's find out about it.
The funny thing about the actual meaning behind what Cochran is doing is that there's really not that much to it. He's just doing a ritual because of the tradition and trying to kill off as many children as possible. That's really the entire scheme.
His damn pagan ways.
Yeah, and apparently they're all sacrifices to...
He needs Jesus for the harvest. He needs Jesus in his life,
But I think that the film really misses the opportunity to explain that a little bit more, because at the end, once Atkins gets free and he drops all of the buttons on all of the cyborgs that are in the facility...
Which that, to me, is just... I don't understand. Why can't they just be hypnotized people?
Right, instead of cyborgs.
Or they've been taken over through, the demonic, not demonic, but, mystical powers of the Stonehenge that they
why do they need specifically to be cyborg-like things? I don't know. There's no explanation for that either. It's just more again, I think Cochran even says at one point, why am I doing it? Does it matter? Does there need to be a reason? It's I guess not.
And that's another Bond trope. Villain sitting there carefully explaining his plan to the hero. Just this is my grand plan. It reminds me of that new Geico commercial.
Yeah.
With the slideshow.
Well, like I was saying, I think they missed an opportunity to actually explain some of this stuff, because when he drops the buttons and he causes all of the cyborgs to go into their epileptic shock from the commercial playing, and then they explode and basically all die. There's no explanation why that triggers the actual ritual to occur, because Cochran kind of just claps his hands. Yep, well done.
Well played. You defeated me.
And then he's kind of lightning striked and melted by whatever entity they summoned. But at the same time, so why then would the rest of the actual ritual continue with the commercial? That should be it. You summoned whatever, and now it's done and it's over, right? So
that's where I got my idea. Have the cyborgs. They they fell as a pentagram. Here comes an old one. Here comes Cthulhu. Flying out of
It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you actually break it down. I don't understand what that means for them to do this ritual sacrifice, or what would happen once all of the children were viciously murdered and turned into insects. It doesn't, there's, what, I don't know what the stakes are. I mean, obviously all the kids and whoever had masks would be dead, but what does that mean for the living people besides having grief that their child was, or they could bottle up the insects, I guess, and pretend they're still their kids. Insects and snakes on their desk.
Which, what a way to, when they killed Buddy Jr., that's how the kids are going to get sacrificed. The mask goes on and then it, crushes their head and has, insects and snake, pestilence just basically break out from it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, that's another very random part of the film.
Is that maybe part of, the Celtic thing? I
guess.
If this is summoned, pestilence would be brought down upon.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be insects and snakes are evil things, and that's why they come out of, dead children's heads. But, yeah, it doesn't, there's nothing.
I love the fact that, Buddy Jr., she just, it's how'd she die? She had a heart attack?
Yeah, she just passes out.
Just falls down, okay, I guess she's dead because the poor dad gets bitten by 2 rattlesnakes.
Yeah, apparently the snakes that come out are also meant to just, kill off everybody else because they're poisonous. They happen to be poisonous. So, yeah, it's a very random thing that doesn't get explained. There's no reasoning why, specifically I could see it more if it just, the button triggered an electrical impulse and it shocked everybody and, shocked their heads and burnt their head off or something like that.
That's not magical.
Yeah, I know.
Because remember when that Halloween store owner from San Francisco, when she tried to get the processor off one of those Silver Shamrock badges, it misfired and fucking fired the
whatever laser beam or
Ark of the Covenant through her head,
I know. That's actually probably the film's best makeup effect there.
Yeah.
Because
that still doesn't look that great.
It's not great. It looks very plasticky and stuff, but it's probably the best makeup effect in the film. But
I love the fact too that when what happened to her? I'm a doctor,
Yes.
And they're like, don't worry, we'll take care of her. Mr. Cochran has all the money. She'll get the finest treatment that money can buy.
We're bringing her to the factory.
Where is she going? She's going to the factory. And they're just like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. I do like that Dr. Challis just thinks he can yell out, I'm a doctor anywhere, and just, that's, all right, credentialed, you do whatever you need to do.
He didn't have his badge.
No, he doesn't have anything that really would say that he's a doctor. He just said he's a doctor. Obviously, they're not going to believe him because he just lied to the innkeeper before about what they're doing in town. So, are they likely to believe he's a doctor? Probably not.
It's fucking hilarious.
What else do we need to touch on?
I find it hilarious that this man who's one of the wealthiest men in America and his Bondian base for computers that runs this whole operation of commercials. And it's just 3 monitors and a fucking pegboard with lights just going boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
So when Tom Atkins is sneaking up trying to get the badges and stuff, what are you sneaking? Where are you sneaking to?
Yeah,
there's no cover, there's no, and then this whole operation to run these commercials, it's all done on,
one little switchboard that they have in this facility.
It's, he's you mean to tell me he couldn't build a mission control type central thing? No, he wasted all that money building scaffolding around the Stonehenge that they brought.
Even so, though, the whole factory itself is very ridiculous. And it is Bondian villain type. Because, that sort of, maybe the scale of it is really what's so astounding, that this Cochran has not only built a factory, but an entire town to really just be a cover for his Silver Shamrock operation.
It's 1800s mining town.
Yeah,
Well, the company who bought the land and built all, the merchant store and the bank and all that, and we all work and pay and yeah,
Yes. One thing I didn't mention that I do really like about the opening of the film is that at least, even though this is not directed or written or anything by Carpenter, it's done by Tommy Lee Wallace, they do start out with the opening credit sequence that is kind of cool, working off of a computer screen that actually, you can't really tell what's happening. It's like sort of a computer graphic that goes along with the soundtrack.
Which is, by the way, the worst way. Like, you mean to tell me the way this computer is making a pumpkin image is like just slowly, like, it's got orange lines and then slowly just kind of like
cutting out the lines. Yeah, but it's, I mean, at least I think it's pretty cool because it does mimic Halloween 1 and 2 of the slow zoom for the pumpkin.
No, you're right. That is cool. The problem is the way the title card is and the way that's presented,
Yes.
again, rings back to like, this looks like a made-for-TV movie for Halloween, especially in 1983, because it, totally reeks of...
The actual title card just kind of just
cut.
drops. It's just like...
It's just there.
Really boring font. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And that's it.
I don't even think it says Season of the Witch.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. I bet maybe I'm mistaken. I can't remember. But it does just kind of drop there. It's really boring. Like, if you blink, you miss it. And then it goes into the whole pumpkin thing. I like the pumpkin. I gotta say, I think it's a nice touch that they were trying to, again, fuel that idea that this is going to be an anthology series and that they were going to do a similar thing to Halloween 1 and 2. Just go in a different direction. So I like that. That's probably one of my favorite things about the film is that it just at least mimics the zooming for the jack-o'-lantern. Kind of intriguing.
No, I agree.
And that's not to say, so like we've been really harsh in making fun of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch quite a bit. But I will be honest and say that I still really like the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's kind of stupid. It's poorly made.
That ending is great.
But yes, yeah. So certain elements of it, like I like to have fun with it. So this is a film that you can have fun with. Whereas with like Halloween in 1 and 2, you have fun with it as well, but it's less of like watching for the fun entertainment value and more just like the thrills and suspense of it. This is just a fun overall film to watch. You can make fun of it. You can try to take it seriously. It's fun overall. So that's not to say that I don't like this film. I like it a lot. Like I said, the soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks, but it is really cheesy and has a dumb plot and stuff.
That damn Silver Shamrock song, if it's not stuck in your head, by the end of this movie, then
you haven't been paying attention.
Which, by the way, I'm kind of surprised for the end credits after Tom Atkins is hysterically screaming to get the commercials off, and he fails. Which, like I said, I love it. It's great.
Very bleak ending.
Yeah, love bleak endings in my film. I'm very the perfect thing to do when the end credits roll. Happy Halloween, Halloween,
yes.
Kind of like a nanny boo boo to you, nanny boo boo.
I guess they didn't want to take away that like tension from the last part of it, so they stuck with the.
No, but it won't because that was playing,
True,
basically
true.
when that,
I think like even so, like the cheesiness of that, like you said, that's not a Carpenter creation. There's not the. He doesn't.
I'd be very surprised if he wrote
the
that
penny whistle element to it than the jokiness of it.
I'd be very surprised if he wrote the Silver Shamrock commercial jingle. Very surprised, but I could see him be like, "Fuck that! I'm an artist, damn it! I'm not being bothered with that."
I do think so. I guess, and we could probably get into the rating scale now, since I kind of just did my own. But you know what, though? I did want to talk about one other thing. Yep. Rewind that a little bit. Just dawned on me. The montage where we see all of the kids going trick-or-treating on Halloween night in different areas. Just want to point out, you can't wear a fucking mask, like a jack-o'-lantern mask, and then also have a pirate hat on it. It just doesn't... Why? You can't be both. You can't be a pirate jack-o'-lantern. It doesn't make sense. You stick with one mask, and you wear the mask. Or, like, I did see another kid who was a witch mask with fucking fairy wings on. No. Okay? You pick one, and you stick with that costume. If you wanted to be a fairy, then you be a fairy, and you don't get to wear the witch mask. Just simple as that. So next time, or as you're putting your costume together for this Halloween, don't mix and match. You can't be a werewolf lumberjack. I mean, I guess you can, actually.
Can you be a slutty nurse?
No, yeah, you can.
Slutty construction worker?
Yeah, they do that too, I guess. It's two. You just can't be two things that don't match up. You can't be what I don't know. Let's see. You can't be a plumber, electrician. They just don't match up. So that was my.
Can't be Tom Cruise and a mummy.
There you go. Yeah, that's good because
you can't be Henry Cavill and Superman.
Yeah, that's true. You can't. Yeah, you can't be Tom Cruise and a mummy because that franchise is dead. So you're just gonna get made fun of on Halloween if you do that.
I don't think anyone remembers it.
Yeah, probably not. Like, what movie are you talking about?
There was a mummy movie?
There was a Dark Universe? No. There was a DC universe? That's pretty much gone.
God, they have like 3 Joker films. Oh God.
Yes, they do.
It's gonna be great.
All right, so
it's gonna be a great shit show.
The obvious choice here for rating would be masks out of 10 masks.
No.
But we don't want to do the obvious choice. So instead, out of 10 Tom Atkins alcoholic beverages, what would you give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
I'll give it, I guess 7.
Okay.
Depending on my mood, it could be a 7.5. Like we said, kind of in the opening as a warning. A little sluggish feeling today, so some of those slower parts kind of in the middle and in the beginning were kind of really dragging on me.
It does.
It's an hour and 40.
Yeah.
And parts of it are sluggish and kind of go to a crawl and are kind of.
Actually, that whole scene where Ellie turns into a cyborg
is just padding and
yeah.
Unnecessary filler. Could have got there quicker.
Yep.
The opening's a little drawn out too. The chase with her dad. It's a little long in the tooth. So it does have its slow parts. The story is nonsensical, goofy, and not very well explained or thought out. But as you said, it's a lot of fun. Tom Atkins is a lot of fun. The guy, I forgot his name, who plays Cochran.
Yep, Dan O'Hurley.
He's really good. He's a lot of fun too. I just love the fact that Tom Atkins is just kind of bumbling around like a drunk and just like, wow, kind of Owen Wilson in his way sometimes throughout this movie.
Yep.
As goofy and like moronic the plot is, it's like you said, it's a lot of fun. It is cheap. It is chintzy. It's not a, greatly made film, but you can have fun with it. You can have a lot of fun with it. I think even more so than Halloween 2, even though Halloween 2 is quite a bit of fun. And as much as I love Halloween 1, I wouldn't say it's really a film you can have fun with just because it's a lot more serious in its tone and how it's like a stalker, thriller than like a slasher film.
Yeah.
But here, it's a lot of fun. Tom Atkins screaming like a lunatic at that damn, Silver Shamrock theme. Just the people in that town and how they all, and how everyone just, the idea of people just like being ape shit over, masks. It goes back to the whole when we did, the movie with Sam Neill with Sutter Kane.
Oh, yeah. In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah, like the whole idea, like people are going ape shit over this book,
Yeah, it's a very similar. A lot of it is very similar, like the town that's sort of...
the town. Well, you could say like Sam Neill, and when they go to the motel and play off his husband and wife. John Carpenter probably ripped a bunch of this and made it for that movie.
Yep,
the whole like old ones type of thing. But it's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than the films to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, as goofy and nonsensical as it is, I like it. And again, ever since I've seen it, I've accepted it for what it is. I'm totally fine with it not being a film based on Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Just because as I said 1,000 times, we reviewed a bunch of slasher franchises. As you go down the line, they have to teeter into parody because they run out of ideas to what the fuck to do.
Yep.
And so this is a way to keep things fresh, keep things new.
Yep.
And anthologies were big at the time, early and mid-'80s with Creepshow, the Twilight Zone movie. You know, so
Yeah.
it would have been smart of them to kind of keep it up, but
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that. I pretty much explained my viewpoint on this, but I'll just throw out my rating. I'd give it an 8. I have a lot of fun with it. I like to watch it every year. Like I said, it's one of my favorite soundtracks, and I think it's just a really entertaining time. It's one of those things that I think even works better when you put it on Halloween. Like if you're watching it on Halloween, just to have like a good time with friends on Halloween. Put on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, because I think they're going to have a lot more fun with it than trying to sit down and really be serious with.
well, if you put Halloween on, you're gonna have to pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here you can kind of like, what's
So,
Tom
yeah.
Atkins doing
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, and it generates a lot more laughs and just, all around good times with this one. And every time Tom Atkins brings up he wants a drink, you can have one too. So
I love that for our opening. What a great line. Jesus, lady, I need a drink.
that's pretty much how I feel all the time. So I'm heading into Tom Atkins alcoholic territory.
Well, he's like kind of looks like a low rent Burt Reynolds.
He does, yeah. Yep, he's really made a name for himself just with John Carpenter movies.
Yeah.
So, all right, that concludes our Halloween 3 Season of the Witch episode.
No Looney Loomis one for this one because
No,
he's not here.
unfortunately, he's not. I guess Looney Loomis would be 0. There is none. So,
Tumultuous Tom.
yeah, yeah, and we already played his most
Drunk doctor, for this film, what you can do instead of a Looney Loomis meter, just count how many drinks he has.
Exactly.
Or like a drinking game. Like anytime he mentions
drinking or actually has one.
Yeah, take a drink.
Because there's even that scene
and when the Silver Shamrock theme comes on, take a drink.
There's even that scene where he's on the phone, like on a payphone. You can just see he's already gone out and purchased a 6-pack of Miller High Life, just set it on the telephone. So yeah, it shows up quite a bit. So you'll have a fun time with that. All right. So next week we're doing Halloween 4.
The Return of Michael Myers.
Yep, and that should be a fun one. Not that the film is that great, but I always like watching it anyway. I'm partial to 4 and 5, even though I know that they're not really that great of films.
How dare you not say 6?
No, I mean I don't say 6, but maybe I'll appreciate it more.
The Paul Rudd factor.
See, 6 is one that I haven't seen that much in comparison to the others.
Now,
so.
which one are we going to review?
Oh, that's a good question.
Should we do the theatrical cut? Or
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll throw that out there at some point. Just ask which one we should do on our Twitter and Facebook page and stuff. See if we get any hits on that. What people would like to see, because I'm not sure which one we should do. So interesting. So yeah, next week will be Halloween 4. So make sure you tune in for that. And we're going to continue with Season of Halloween all the way through Halloween, and we're going to conclude with the new Halloween 2018 film. So keep listening. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and pretty much any other podcasting app or site that you use. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We're on Twitter at Blood and Black Rum. We have an email address at bloodandblackrumpodcast@gmail.com. And like I said, you can follow me on Untapped, and I believe I'm at RynB. RYNEB. So check me out on there. Thank you for listening. We will see you back next week for another Halloween episode.
Take care.